Welcome to Tampa's Table, a culinary journey. My name is Jeff Hauk. I'm Vice President of Marketing for the 1905 family of restaurants. And my guest today is Eric Fralick, chef and co-owner of Koya, Kinja, and Noble Rice restaurants in Tampa. Welcome.
Thank you very
I
much.
always enjoy our conversations because we always go in places I don't expect. It's always very thoughtful. You have a high standard to live up to. You were a guest last season, and last season when we talked, you were just starting to get your Japanese-Italian fusion restaurant sort of underway, getting the planning stages. So we'll talk about that. First question, though.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a favorite Tampa flavor?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to go Cuban all the way
Okay.
on that. So
Why is that? Why do you pick that one?
I love sandwiches.
Okay. Sandwiches are underrated.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. For sure.
And when I talk to people about Cuban sandwiches, I explain it's like 7 recipes in one. It's not just one recipe with a sandwich and you just put stuff on. I mean, a lot of preparation goes into those things. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you as a chef, you see through those goggles and like, oh, the pork, oh, the salami and all that stuff. So awesome. So, we first met when your first restaurant, Noble Rice, opened on Platt Street. And I know I'm going to butcher all the Japanese names, so I ask for forgiveness. And I think I know it as is pronunciation of izakaya.
That's correct.
I nailed it.
You did.
Awesome. I know I butchered omakase last time
You got it
because I
correct.
went to omakasa, which is wrong.
Yeah.
That's like a guy in Tokyo or something. But anyway, so Noble Rice, izakaya, very casual. And it evolved from being this very casual thing to having, the omakase experience sort of in the same place. And then that begot Koya. A little bit of notoriety around Koya. I don't know if anybody's heard of the word Michelin, but you earned a Michelin-starred. And now we're into Kinja. Tell me through the evolution of what you've built here, how you got to develop your own little environment, your own little restaurant group. When you started Noble Rice, did you have any idea that you would follow that path?
We didn't, not to the extent to where we are now.
Right.
Obviously, it was more about making food for us to eat, and then it turned into a passion to share with our neighbors, with the city.
Right.
We've been really fortunate to be able to surround ourselves with amazing people that believe in our dream and our vision, and I think that's what's brought us to where we are today.
Yeah. When I talk to people, I and they ask about anything, I said, please yourself first, because inevitably there's somebody who digs what you dig and they'll taste that passion and then that'll come out on the plate, and that's what I totally tasted when I started coming to your restaurants. I mentioned this before. I have to show you something. So for my 35th anniversary, we went to Noble Rice at your new location, and there's a dish. This is a problem, Eric.
Triple black ramen, yeah.
Triple black ramen, and we'll post it on here. My wife and I shared that. We shared many other things. We loved everything. Honestly, every dish we had all kinds of different things. The triple black ramen, I'm going to need to know what the secret is, because no, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
I need to know what the secret is because it haunts my dreams. Now you can speak, please.
Okay, so that ramen and pretty much all the ramens came about because my wife, Adriana, loves ramen. So I had to create these recipes that would really bring back the memories for us from Japan and from New York City. So that's where they came from. But I can tell you the secret ingredient in the ramens right now is the chicken that we use.
What's that?
We use a golden chicken from Pennsylvania.
What's a golden chicken? Is that a brand or a type of chicken?
It's literally, when we bring them in, because we bring in the whole chicken head on with the feet, they are literally bright gold in color. The fat content on that chicken is remarkable. They're fed a diet of organic yellow corn.
See, that's what I was going to ask you. What are they fed?
Yeah. So
so they're eating premium feed.
Yeah.
That makes a better chicken.
Makes a terrific chicken.
And so the flavor profile, instead of being this, is this. What's the difference in the flavor profile?
So it's just much more rich, right? Because we're using the whole chicken to make the ramen stock. So you're getting the feet, the neck, all the skin in there.
All the collagen.
All the collagen, yeah. And that broth is just outstanding.
And anytime you make, say, chicken stock, you're making it with all the other parts anyway.
Yes.
And you're getting all that flavor. So you're using everything.
Yep.
It's already in the broth.
So my
I know there's
philosophy,
got to be another secret. There's got to be like gold dust or unicorns or rainbows in that thing.
it's something we like to call good groceries, right? Good
Yeah.
groceries make all the difference.
Well, last time we talked about how, you better your ingredients, the better the flavors are. You're already starting out on a positive side. So what else is in there?
Let's see.
I know you went to chicken, and I totally understand, totally get it. Better chicken, better ramen. But tell
So
me,
it's a very similar base to the Tauntaun men that we serve, but with this one we're adding in black garlic. That's why you get the triple black.
and what kind of flavor does black garlic give you?
A really nice kind of like sweet balsamic note.
Okay.
They're really, really, it's a really great way to add a lot of umami and depth of flavor to a dish. So we call it triple black because you got black garlic, you have a black sesame, right? And then we also have basically a burnt garlic oil that goes over the top.
Okay. So there's that depth of flavor there.
Yeah.
Is black garlic a traditional Japanese ingredient?
It's pretty much found mostly in Asia.
Okay.
You can actually find some stuff here that's made in Florida.
Right.
It's just fermentation, basically. Yeah.
So again, last time we talked, Koya had debuted, and you had taken that omakase experience that you were trying to have at Noble and broke it off into 8 seats.
Yep.
I believe it's still 8 seats. And so you have this experience. Tell me how Koya evolved and why you think it was so powerful for the guests to earn a Michelin award.
So I'll give you kind of like the backstory of what happened. So when my wife and I opened Noble Rice, right? That's really kind of like you said, izakaya style, right? Ramen, yakitori, sushi. We put a tasting menu on about a year or so after we opened. And that over the course of 3 years, that turned into like 75% of our business. So it's like, now we need to separate the two concepts.
Numbers
from
don't
each
lie.
other. No, they don't. They scream for sure. So obviously we came into the COVID period, the COVID area, and we had the plans to remodel Noble Rice into Koya. And then we had lease negotiations with Sparkman to move Noble Rice down to Channelside. So we kind of took the time from March of 2020 till July to remodel. We turned it into Koya, and we had no idea the reception that we were going to get would be to be sold out for more than 4 years straight. So it's pretty special. It's quite an honor.
And then, I mean, when we talked, you had just started doing like a second seating.
Yeah.
And we talked about, what does that say about Tampa? Well, it's a fairly positive sign, I would think.
It is.
And you're still seeing that.
Yep.
So what kind of customer goes to Koya versus Noble Rice?
There's a good amount of crossover.
Is there?
Yeah, for both.
So one feeds the other, in other words?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll get people that go to Noble Rice every week. I have a couple people that go several times a week, and then they'll come over to Koya for a special occasion, which is great to have.
Sure. Yeah. Noble struck me at the new location as being very much a neighborhood restaurant. Whereas when it was on Platt Street, it was more of a destination. It was not a lot of neighborhood folks, obviously from Hyde Park and South Tampa and whatnot. But, it seemed very much embedded in the Sparkman Channel District area, which I thought that's just awesome to me, because it's like, okay, we aren't just settling for what we've traditionally had in that area, which are sort of large chains or sort of entertainment-based dining kind of thing. So Kinja, tell me about the development of Kinja and how that came about. Because as I said, the last time we talked, it was all about your experience of going to a neighborhood Italian restaurant in Japan and sort of where that crossover is. If you could talk about that inspiration, how you translated it here.
All right. So Kinjo basically translates directly to neighbor in Japanese.
Right.
So it's obviously a neighbor to Koya because it's in the same building, but it's also a neighbor to Noble Rice, our other concepts. And we feel like we're a neighbor to the city. So that's kind of where the name comes from. So 21 years ago, I moved to Japan in 2004. Can't believe it's been 21 years. One of my favorite places to go was this little back alley Italian restaurant. Brought back a lot of memories for me because I started cooking in Italian fine dining.
In New York.
In upstate New York.
Right.
Way long time ago. But
decades and decades.
Yeah, decades and decades. But it really reminded me of home. And then they were just putting all these really cool Japanese twists into the food and Japanese ingredients, and it was just mind-blowing. So that idea has been in the back of my head for a little bit of time.
What is it about Italian food that is so satisfying?
Comforting, great ingredients, simplicity. I think those are some of the keys to that. Freshness. Yeah.
There's an expectation of warmth, I think, that goes with it. And not that Japanese food isn't warm, because I think of ramen, I think of these robust flavors and very comforting flavors, but it's sort of like two warm fronts meet
Yeah.
on the plate,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering, what's your handshake menu item to introduce people to Kinja?
Oh, I'd say right now it's either the cappelletti or the caprese salad.
Talk a little bit about those,
All
please.
right, so the
Caprese is awesome, by the way.
Yes, it is. All right, so the cappelletti basically just means tiny hats in Italian. Ours are handmade every single day. We fill them with a buffalo ricotta that comes from Puglia, Italy. My wife's father grew up in Puglia, Italy, so it's really special for us to be carrying some of those cheeses
Sure.
from that area.
Puglia is in the northern part of Italy, isn't it?
Southern part.
Puglia is in the southern part of Italy, isn't it?
I think so.
I thought all the creams came from the northern part of Italy. What do I know?
So we to that buffalo ricotta, we're going to add in some maitake mushrooms that have been sauteed in brown butter, and then some white soy. We make a simple sauce with the brown butter and white soy. Then we have a pickled daikon, pickled in a little bit of white balsamic, and then we add an aged balsamic to that. It's just one of those dishes that's like crack.
If you look at the menu, it looks like an Italian, like there's a bunch of Italian names, all ending in vowels and things like that,
Sure.
and hard consonants. And then there's occasionally a sort of a Japanese name that's on there. You know, are you a Japanese restaurant that has Italian, or are you an Italian restaurant that has Japanese?
So this is a question I get asked a lot. Like, what do you?
I'm glad I could ask the routine question.
How do you describe the food? And it's really simple. It's Italian food made with Japanese sensibilities, right? Itameshi literally just means Italian fusion.
I wasn't going to butcher that word.
And wafu just means Japanese style. So you could say wafu Italian, so Japanese style Italian, or itameshi, that fusion of Italian and Japanese.
Is there are there common ingredients that, like, the Japanese prepare them one way and the Italians prepare them this way, that kind of translate?
So it's a really interesting cuisine, because back in the 1800s, there was already Italian food in Japan. This type of cuisine didn't take off until after World War II, when we were occupying Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the Italian American soldiers were introducing red sauce and meatballs to the Japanese people. And then the restaurant owners saw that, and they were thinking of ways that they could feed them. So here comes kind of more of a Western style, or Italian style food. You go a few years later, up into the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're trying to serve that same food to their Japanese customers. So they're starting to introduce more Japanese elements into the pasta dishes, or into the Italian dishes. And by the time you get to 1980, you have thousands of itameshi restaurants all over Japan.
And what was it particularly that was fueling that growth?
I think it's just everybody's common interest in food, right? And what's the next new thing, and obviously how tasty it is.
Now, has Japan gone to Italy yet, or is it all just sort of based on the island?
I don't think so. I think there's a bunch of Japanese restaurants in Italy. There's a lot of Japanese influence across many restaurants in Italy.
It's interesting, because from what I know about Japanese food, and it's, again, I'm always learning something. It's not very sweet based. Like, the desserts are not very super sweet like they are in America.
Yeah.
But they're very satisfying, and they use, some might have seaweed or something like that. That's a different kind of atypical from what you would expect in America. What kind of desserts do you do there?
All right. So at Kinjo, one of the big ones is our caprese.
Mm-hmm.
So usually you get a caprese at the very beginning of the meal. We serve ours at the end. So we're doing a tomato and strawberry mousse. We have
Tomatoes are fruit.
Yep. We have a stracciatella cheese, again from Puglia, Italy. We slightly sweeten that.
I hear that's in the southern part of the country.
You're correct. We slightly sweeten that with some confectionery sugar.
Uh-huh.
We have a basil granita with that, and then we do some balsamic gastrique. So it's all the flavors that are in a caprese, but done slightly sweeter.
Have you thought about adding any black garlic? I'm just saying. Honestly, I would eat that 3 meals a day. Back to Tampa a little bit. Is there a Tampa food experience that, if you're inviting someone from out of town, that you would take them to sort of baptize them and say, this is Tampa's food?
Where would I go? Because I don't get out a lot.
Because you'd already talked, I know, you already talked about the Cuban.
Yeah.
But is there something that's sort of like, this will give you a good sense of Tampa?
My kitchen's at home. It's really my favorite place.
I go to this new place. It's called Instant Pot. It's awesome. Every night, I don't have to leave my house. Yeah, I make soup, I make stews, all that kind of thing.
We're usually at home cooking. Like if
Yeah.
we have guests over, I'm either barbecuing on the Rectech, smoking some meats on the grill, or making pasta.
What are you making on the grill?
I do a lot of ribs.
Really?
Ribs and chicken.
How do you prepare your ribs?
I do the 3-2-1. So 3 hours on low smoke,
Right,
uncovered,
right.
2 hours wrapped and covered, and then 1 hour on higher heat.
And you wrap them in
Butcher block,
Okay.
or tinfoil,
Right.
whichever one is handy.
Because I had a friend of mine who used to wrap it in like plastic wrap. It didn't go above a certain temperature, so it was okay, and it really locked in the juices.
Really?
That's why I asked. Yeah,
I haven't heard of that.
yeah, that worked out pretty well.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm always looking to steal some grilling and barbecuing advice. So, and what do you cook on? What do you cook on at home?
Rectech.
What is a Rectech?
Rectech is an amazing smoker. So it's a pellet smoker. It has an app.
Okay.
You can just fill it up and go to
Yeah,
bed.
I have a Walmart special that I've used for forever, and I usually have to wait till the one night of the year that gets below like 20 degrees to get the brisket on, so it goes like for 20 hours kind of thing. I am as basic as it gets, but yeah, I lost my mind about smoking meats for a while. Is there a lot of smoking meats in Japan?
There's a couple different types of restaurants where it's cooked over live fire, but
Right.
smoking meats.
Or coals on the
Yeah,
table or things
yeah.
like that? Okay, well, maybe that's your next restaurant. I'm
maybe.
just saying.
Yeah. I need another restaurant.
Let me get my checkbook. Yeah, absolutely. So, you recently had a baby,
Yep.
and tell me about how that has changed you as a cook, and what does the baby eat?
So my son, Luca, will be 1 year old in just a few more days.
Awesome.
He literally eats everything we put in front of him. His favorite by far is bolognese. He could eat that literally every single day, and meatballs.
What was his first solid food? Do you remember?
His first solid food was focaccia that my wife made,
Wow.
followed by burrata.
Does he know how lucky he is?
He does.
Okay, great. So how do you discover that he likes to eat everything?
Because we just give it to him. Yeah.
And you didn't pretend like this is the airplane or anything
No,
like that?
don't have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
He's
got to be
amazing.
gratifying.
It is.
Because I'm imagining you and your wife are both omnivores.
Yep.
I think it would be hard to be a chef and have a picky eater at home.
Yeah.
I would think that would be a point of
Yeah.
frustration.
Maybe.
Maybe. See, I'm really excited because my daughter-in-law, who's vegetarian, I love her to death. I brought her over a little bit with grilled salmon, and now she's eating chicken. And before I know it, I know I'm going to get her into a hamburger or something pretty soon. But it's always very gratifying when you make something for someone you love, and they not only love that, they go into other places that you don't expect to.
Yep.
Any aspirations for what you want to feed your son as he grows older to kind of get? Because I love sea urchin. I love uni. Is there any uni in his diet yet?
Not yet, but that's coming soon. He's had a bunch of scallops already.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we went through.
And he eats Japanese as well?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What does he eat?
What does he eat? Everything that we eat.
Sushi rolls or what's he eat? Ramen
Not sushi rolls yet, but he's had some raw fish for sure. He's had some kimchi. We feed him whatever we're eating, he's going to try.
That is outstanding. I think he should do restaurant reviews.
Maybe.
Toddler restaurant reviews in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I would read that every day of the week. So what do you see in terms of where Tampa's going food-wise? Because last we talked, things were still sort of building. The cloud was very much building and expanding. And, as we talked about Michelin, is attracting new chefs to town who wanted to be in a town that could earn with such a thing. Where do you see us going at this point?
Hopefully the direction that we're going is where chefs and restaurateurs are going to take a little bit more chances on the menu, on the ambiance, and not stick to the kind of cookie cutter restaurants that we've seen for the past, 30, 40, 50 years.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that's the direction we're going in. I'd love to see it personally because I like to eat.
I'm like, listen, you want to spend money for me to eat, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask how earning a star affected how the restaurant operates, affected the customers you attract. Tell me what that does to fuel what your dreams are.
It's a huge honor. It did not change anything that we were doing behind the scenes. We've always been really honest and straightforward and hardworking. all of the restaurants we have, the very core of our identity
Right.
is the best quality ingredients possible, best service that we can give to the customers. So that core philosophy remains intact across all three brands.
It's the other thing I wanted to compliment as well when we were at Noble was the service at the table. It felt like a friend was just bringing things to the table. And when we would ask advice or tips or anything like that in ordering, it was just very relaxed. It was completely knowledgeable about the menu and whatnot. And I know I think you said you brought someone from Noble to Kinja?
Yeah. Shout out Chef Jada.
Can you talk
Yeah.
about what that contribution has
It's
been like?
huge. I mean, like I was saying to you earlier, I think this was off camera, that I'm just so impressed with the people that work for me, that they believe in our dreams and
Right.
and what we're doing, and we've been able to surround ourselves and with these people. Chef Jada came to me maybe 4 years ago to work at Koya. I didn't have a space for her, so she ended up working at Noble Rice. She went from sous chef to CDC in a course of about a year. Amazing, talented young
And
chef.
that's chef de cuisine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And she expressed some interest when we were about to announce Kinjo was opening, that she'd like to try something new, and she's come over and done a fantastic job.
And where did she come from originally? I'm curious.
She's youngin'. So really, she's a big Food Network chef. You might have seen her on Guys Grocery Games. I think we have Chopped. I think she won that,
Okay.
which is crazy. I've got
Yeah, celebrities working.
I got celebrities working, which is really great. Her boyfriend, the same thing. He's our chef de cuisine for Koya.
Right.
Another a Chopped guy. I think he came in second. Sorry, Adam. But shout out to two of those.
As long as you don't have any Kardashians or Vanderpumps in your operation, we're okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My point in asking that is that we're now attracting talent.
Yeah.
And when you obviously make great things and you earn the accolades that you've earned, that cloud gets bigger and bigger. How do you nurture that? Like you said, you found a place for Jada until things developed. How do you nurture that talent? Because not everybody has the blessing of being able to find people who have that kind of passion.
Honesty is a big one. I'm always honest. I'm honest to my staff. I'm honest to my customers. If you're not, they're going to know, right? And then word travels.
It comes out on the plate.
Yeah, it does.
I'm a big believer that you can't be a bad person and make great food for very long, because that's the truth right there. You're going to take a shortcut somewhere, that your integrity will show up on the plate. But you were talking about the honesty and
it's pretty simple aspects. The way I run businesses is probably a little bit different from how other people run businesses. I'm the owner. I'm also the chef. I write all the menus, but at the same time, I have to be their friend. Sometimes you got to be their accountant. Sometimes you got to be an electrician. Sometimes you got to be a therapist. So you're kind of juggling all those things.
Right.
But it's a really, really amazing thing to be able to have these people around you for several years and see them grow, right? So I know when they leave, my whole goal for them is to leave better than they were when they came.
I always thought it was a compliment when someone grew out of whatever capacity you could, utilize them for, and then goes on and makes something else as well. And I've always, the idea that, like, I don't want you to leave or anything like that, which you don't, because it's obviously talent and you've invested in that. But to go off and make something else after that, I think is a huge, huge testament to leadership.
Yep.
That sounds like you do too.
100%.
Okay. And then the more important question, is it Tampa devil crab or is it deviled crab?
Deviled.
Okay. Why
That's what I'm going with.
That's what you're going with?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, great. Won't hold it against you. Won't be court of law. We've asked everybody so far, and it's been about 50-50. So,
what are you going with?
I don't use the ED. I'm old school, just devil. I said that one guest, Dalia Colonna, was sitting there, was down with the devil, and she just did not accept that at all. And I regretted saying it, and I regret saying it again. So, but devil crab, I'm just old school, OG kind of, old Tampa kind of thing. But that's such a great flavor. Is there a Tampa ingredient like crab or anything like that you think would translate to Japan, that people in Japan would appreciate?
Oh, they got to get the Cuban sandwich over there. I'm sure there is one, right?
Why do we not have a Cuban sandwich sushi roll?
Well, did you ever have the bao bun that Ichikoro did? It's like
No,
a type of Cuban.
no.
I think they called it a Cubano or Bauno, something
Well,
like that.
the
It's
thing I will tell you,
fantastic.
the thing that got me when Ichikoro started was the first time I ever heard of them was they did a pop-up, I guess, in Brooklyn or something, and they did Tampa style Cuban. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's a changer because now something hyphenate with Tampa is outside our area. And I really appreciated it. And I thought, no, I just really understood that. Um, but yeah, I don't think you can put Cuban sandwich flavors enough in things because it's salty, sweet, crispy, creamy, pickly, mustardy. I mean, it's just a flavor bomb.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's great flavors in Japanese as well. So, I mean, I think that you kind of crack on that. But yeah, I really want you to get started on a Cuban sandwich roll.
I don't
we can
think
do
so,
that.
Jeff.
Okay. Agree to disagree. I just, I'm a fan, but I'm a fan of yours as well. And I can't thank you enough for joining me today.
Appreciate it,
Thanks
Jeff.
for talking with me.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Tampa's Table, A Culinary Journey. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you like and subscribe podcasts. And until next time, we'll save a seat at the table for you.